Hi, everybody. Welcome to We've Had a Time. Burr, 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 burr. Add a little applause. Give me some applause. Hold for applause. Hold for applause. Oh, I thought you were going to do the sound effect.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Hold on.
You were like, I guess.
I can if you want me to.
You start slow clapping.
I'm like, if I can find it. Oh, okay, here we go. I love it. I think it's well deserved.
I think so too. Yeah, welcome everybody. This is our first episode, and this podcast is just our little place to basically talk about whatever the fuck we want. And hopefully it resonates with you in some sort of way. Take us on your drives, keep us in your room, at your office when you don't want to work, and we hope you enjoy. So, the first episode we thought we would dedicate to college because that's where we met. And I'm going to hand it over to. Oh, we didn't even introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Cece.
Yes. You said
And we're
they'll
just
figure it
two
out.
pals.
They'll get it together.
I forget you have to provide context.
I know.
And just for more context, we are long distance besties who met in college. And a podcast is something we've been talking about for a while because we love to yap and we love to dilly dally. And what better way to do that than to have a microphone and record it?
And share it with the world. Oh,
indeed. Silence your phones in the crowd, please.
You're right. You're right. It is silence. That's what's so upsetting about all of this.
I hate that. Yeah, so going back to it, we wanted to dedicate our first episode to talking about college because that is indeed where we met, where this friendship blossomed.
And technically our first time.
That's true. That's true.
I've been thinking about that.
It's true. Yeah, I didn't even provide context to the name. We've had a time because we have had a time, and many times we've had.
Time. And it's a phrase we picked up. I'm not even sure where we got the phrase from, but we've been saying it from you for years. From me, and I can't for the life of me remember who I got it from. But we have been saying we've had a time for ages. Because I think it's just friendship has been conceived.
I love just the neutrality of a time. It's neither good nor bad. But it's I feel like
a moment.
It's true. I feel like you could see it in, like, if you really like fuck with a person, you can see it, and you could see what kind of time you've had, or if you've just like literally experienced the same thing. We're like, that's a time. So that's what a time is because we've had it.
So many.
Did I mention we've had a time?
I don't know. But we have had many a time.
It's true.
You'll hear it every episode, I think. We'll have to squeeze in every single one. So get used to that phrase for sure.
It's like how in the movies when they say the movie title and you're like, oh.
They did the thing. They said the thing. They said
it. Everyone?
Did everyone? Everyone heard it? It gets a little
good
fourth wall break. A look little into the
full
camera.
Circle moment.
Thoughts of the placement?
Anybody?
But going back to our first time.
Yeah, if you want to kind of go into how we met.
Yeah, of course. So me and Cece, our lovely friendship blossomed in 2016 as we were two transfers coming from opposite sides of the state and meeting for the first time at college. Me and Cece went to the University of California, Santa Barbara, UCSB.
Go Gauchos!
And we were
What's the
oh no.
I was gonna be like, ole, 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 ole.
I forget about that.
Gauchos. It just popped up in my head.
The repressed memories, really.
God, we've got to talk about throwing tortillas at one point.
Yes, we do have to talk about that. I feel like this podcast is just gonna bring up a bunch of all of our memories, and we're just gonna get to relive and kiki and live and laugh and love.
I'm already having more flashbacks.
I know. It's truly scary, but
I'm gonna wake up in cold sweat.
But we transferred as communication majors to UCSB, and we kind of met through all of our classes. We have to take a certain curriculum in order to be accepted into the major. So me and Cece were basically in all the same classes as was everyone coming in as a comm major that year. But me and Cece bonded over a music class, because you're allowed to take other classes aside from your core comm classes. So me and Cece decided to take a music course, being the musical folks that we are.
Not on purpose, by the way. We were both severely
we had
misled.
No idea. Yeah, we were severely misled. The title of the class, as I forget every time, had the word ethnomusicology in it. It was like the study of
that was the class.
That was the class, ethnomusicology. And in the little blurb that you have when you sign up for the class, it just basically was like, you're gonna see a bunch of, or you're gonna hear and see a bunch of different music from all around the world and different cultures, and you're just gonna study those things and those histories. And so I had taken like some music classes at my community college beforehand. I was like, heck yeah, sign me up. Same. I love those classes. Let me go ahead and do some more. And then you get there and it's like, this was not what I thought whatsoever. But me and Cece technically met and spoke to each other meaningfully waiting outside of that class. It was like in the weirdest area of the school that I never had another class in, by the way. Never set foot in that building once more. And it was in this weird like nook of the building. And me and Cece locked eyes. And I didn't know anyone but her. I had seen her adjacent to a friend of mine just on the side, and I was like, I know you. And I think that's literally like what we probably said. I think we just saw each other and we were like, we've seen each other before. Yeah, why don't we just vibe?
I feel like I like kind of met in like that first day in that comm class that everybody was like required to take.
Because I think we sat like it was me, my friend Ray, and then you, right? It was like I think that was the lineup. You were at the end.
Yeah.
Right? And so I really just I was just next to my friend. So I was like, oh, these girls look cool. They look fun and hip and cute.
I think I don't know if we're I'll just like redact your friend's name. Are we talking about the same friend? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're talking about the only friend, I think.
Yeah.
That it could be.
They knew Ray because they lived in the same building, remember?
Yes.
And they came together and they were with us because like I don't think you and I really knew anybody else in the class, so.
Oh no, I had no idea of anyone.
Literally clung on to the first face I saw, and then they knew each other, and then you're like, oh hey,
hello,
and I was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna see you again, and I did,
and we did the same week, but yeah, I think we literally saw each other, we exchanged numbers then, and we went through that hell of a class. And not as in like that was a hell of a class, as in like it was literal hell on earth of a class, and it was so misleading.
Yeah, I mean, I think the subject itself is kind of boring. I think that's like the essence of it, because I don't even think the professor was terrible at his job.
Sure.
I just didn't know what we were talking about most of the time.
Ever. I would dare to say.
Yeah, he would make us like participation, I think, was like a huge part of that
because
class.
it was a seminar, right? Like we had a couple of people, there was like 10, 15 people max. Right. And we all had to read all this shit and then talk about it at class.
It's true. I think we had to like write in our little notebooks like thoughts. I don't know. It was something.
I really don't even remember.
I wish I did more research before talking about it now. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm not being graded on it now. And I wasn't interested in the first place.
It was not an interesting class, but it did give me our friendship, and that's the only thing I'm grateful for.
It's true. With terrible classes sometimes form the strongest of bonds. And that's just science. Sorry.
That's just life and science put together. And here we are.
Indeed. So we did meet there, and we spent the next 2 years together in college. Sometimes thriving, mostly surviving.
Yeah.
And
never spending well, actually, no, I think I was gonna say, this is what I was gonna say. I was like, never not spending time together, but we truly had to cut each other off.
Yeah. Yeah. Have y'all ever had a friend at a time that you know you can't get shit done with? So much to the point where you have an unspoken agreement where you have to cut each other off during crucial times like finals and midterms and just whenever life gets too much because you have absolutely too much fun together to the point where it starts to hinder your education.
That was us. Anyone have one of those?
Comment down below.
Put a finger down.
Give me a like if you feel that way.
Like and share this podcast if you have a friend just like that. But yes,
yeah, it got pretty bad.
I was about to lie to them.
I think in the first year we didn't really have that self-awareness, and then I think like, or maybe towards the end of that first year, it was something like that. It took us a while to really figure out. It took us
probably like failing an assignment or two for us to be like, oh shoot, we should probably not really do that.
We may have dilly-dallied a little too hard.
Yeah. And we should probably stop the dilly-dally.
It's true.
And get it together.
God, yeah.
It's like trauma.
It's all coming back to me now.
It was a risk revisiting this. It really was.
It's true. I forgot so much.
So much.
Do you want to talk about sorry, hard transition. Just
as we
to
segue.
Add more, speaking of trauma, do you want to talk about your personal experience in college? Yeah. What we majored in, our education journey.
I can talk about that, I guess. I'll allow myself the time. So I went to community college, obviously, since we were transfers. To my local community college, I went there for 3 years, I think. But here's why. Before everyone's like, why were you there for 3 years? I was there because I had a dream. I had a dream to go to UCLA, the University of California, Los Angeles. That was the dream. And so to achieve this dream, I was like, let me do an extra year and bring my GPA up enough to be competitive to get into UCLA. So I was like, what's an extra year? I'll finish it up super quickly, and then, I'll get to go to my dream school. And it didn't work out that way. I was not accepted yet again because I did apply for that place out of high school. I didn't get in either, so fuck them.
Oh, you applied in high school too?
Yeah, I had big dreams. If anything, I'm a dreamer. Can't call me anything else.
You were a smart bitch, so
I
you
tried.
had every right.
I really just had one class go south, and then it was over. Like, one class really just put me off the edge. Oh, so sorry.
That's insane. It shocks me to this day. After
checking
just learning
on my
about
dog's
it last
health.
week.
Huh?
My dog's trying to bang down my fucking door right now.
Mine is trying to like cut this podcast off by biting the Ethernet cord.
If he didn't want us to see it swing, he should have just said that.
I know. Why are you like? Can you give it a break? I just tried to apply out of college or out of high school, and I failed like a class, and it just ended my entire career. Oh my god,
dude!
Crazy. And so, I just went to my community college. I picked communications as a major, and then I was there for 3 years. And then eventually I transferred over in 2016 to UCSB after much consideration. None at all. I really just wanted to be by the beach. Huh?
It's true. What made you transfer to comm?
Well, I was originally in biology, if you can imagine.
Women in STEM.
Women in STEM. I didn't want to be a part of it, I guess. I said no. Yeah, I had wanted to be a pediatrician for the longest time. I don't know why, but coming out of high school, I was like, I want to be a pediatrician. And then I realized I don't like children. And I would not want to make them... Hold on. This guy's really going for the cord. I'm just going to wrap it up. Basically, I was a biology major, and I decided that wasn't my life path because I didn't want to be a pediatrician. I didn't like kids, and that wasn't my vibe. And I just was a little lost, and I didn't know what to pick. And so I was like, communications is so versatile, as everyone sold it to me that way. Why don't you try to do that? And so I took a class or two, and I was kind of good at them, and I just kept it rolling all the way through and transferred as that into UCSB. And that's how I made it there. And I had friends that went there already, so it was kind of like a comforting space for me personally. I was like, this is comfortable.
A lot of people from the jump.
I was adopted. I knew like 2 people, and I was adopted into a friend group, and I was taken under their wing and pushed out the nest, laid on. But that's how I got there. How did you get there? I feel like we've talked about it once or twice, but really I don't remember.
So I got there. Okay, so me in high school was a little bumpy. I had a bumpy high school experience, mostly just because I don't even know why. I don't think doesn't matter. Anyways, I applied to some state schools and I got in, but they weren't great. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think part of the reason I wanted to go to community college because I knew that I could get into better schools. And a lot of that was just kind of like out of spite because my parents would sometimes think that I'm like not as smart as like my brother, who was more of like an academic of sorts. And so nothing drives a bitch harder than spite. And so basically I always knew that I wanted to do some kind of like journalism or in front of the camera work. And I basically, my cousin was already there, and my cousin and I are pretty close. And I was just like, how do I go to community college and get the fuck out in record time? And her beautiful mind literally laid out like an entire like timeline of what I needed to do. And I literally just followed that. And I was also, well, I mainly speaking for myself, I was very delusional and thought that I could get into UCLA. So that was also my goal. And I was just like, how do I get into UCLA? But I was also very careful not to stay in the community college that long. One, just because like I didn't want to live at home for too long, and I just like kind of wanted to start life pretty quickly. And I knew I always wanted to go to school in SoCal. That was also a very important goal for me at the time. And so the only schools I applied to were UCLA, UCSB, and Davis. Davis was just kind of like a fallback of fallbacks. And I got into UCSB, projected from UCLA, and accepted at UC Davis. And I obviously went with the SoCal school because that's what I wanted. And yeah, and I also chose communications to because I wanted to do like the whole journalism thing. So it made sense. And when I got to UCSB, the communications program was a little different. And I failed out of the program by this one class. And I took this class twice, which honestly, if the universe tells you the first time, maybe you just shouldn't.
I agree.
Maybe you should have just kept it pushing. But I'm a very stubborn person by nature, and first and second time I missed the passing threshold by like 1 or 2 percentages. And it,
I forgot about that
sometimes
too.
Sometimes you just gotta know when to fold. And
when to hold them.
Amen. And so with that, I transferred over to film and media, which honestly I wish I did from the very jump, because that was a lot closer to what I was more interested in. And I only spent the remaining credits were all transferable, blah 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 blah. So I only spent like a year and a half in that program, and I wish I did it for much longer because it was a lot more interesting to me and fulfilled me. But shit happens, you know.
Do you know, I completely forgot that you just missed the thing, because I forgot to say that I barely made it into that program, to be honest. Again, my skin of my teeth. Did I make it in? I had to plead. What is it? No, I had to write the jury a letter, like the people of the comm department. I had to be like, can you please let me in, because I only had to take 2 classes instead of 3. Is it? You have to take 3 classes and like make it with a GPA of such and such.
Yeah.
Right? And I think I had taken enough courses at my community to not have to take that 3rd class. So I only had 2 classes.
I think so, me too.
Yeah, so I just was like, y'all, I was never gonna these are so hard. I was never gonna make it. There was no way. There's no average of GPA that would allow me unless I got 2 A+. Like, I was never ever gonna get it. And they were like, we pity on you. Get on in here. And I barely graduated.
Bring it in.
And I forgot to reserve my graduation, so I had to graduate with other people. Do you remember that?
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
I only reserved that. Halfway, I guess. I went in and I reserved half of it, and I didn't reserve the second half. I don't remember what the process was. We had to do 2 things.
So
I only did one. And I was like,
send
please.
You reminders.
Right. And they did. I just confidently was like, no, I did both the things that were needed to be done.
Well, they should have told you were wrong.
I know. They should
have screenshot it and been like, no, you fucking didn't.
I feel like they should be like, they should have the list of people that didn't do it and then send them a reminder that's like, hey, we see that you did this. You have to do this other one too, and give you a call. I got calls for so many things after college was over for them to take more of my money. Why would you not call me to make sure I get a good graduation? Do you not have the resources for that?
I feel like everybody busts their ass for however many years you attend the university. And then with graduation, the process is it's so much on you to do it, which I get to an extent. Like, we are all technically adults, but it's just like,
there's so much going on at that moment. At least for me, it's like you're doing finals, I was working, I had to move out of my apartment at the same time as I literally, when I graduated, I walked back to my car and I had moved out the night before. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You came over to my apartment, it was empty. I had to clean it up and I stuffed my car up with all my stuff. I had no help. I just was like, I'm gonna just move out on my own. And then, so all of that in the same week, like, come on. Give me a break. Y'all couldn't remind me.
The chaos is just like, it's just so, like, graduation week is already so crazy enough.
So crazy.
And I just feel like, you know, given that we are technically adults, like, I just feel like they should make more of an effort to make sure we're getting the best experience possible.
I know.
Seeing that we pay them like thousands of dollars, I feel like they were just like, well, and it's like, what do you mean?
Right. What the heck? I was upset by that for sure. But I got to graduate with one of my good friends. So it was okay in the end. But I completely forgot about that too. Forgot about everything, I guess. I know. It's all coming back. We're going to resurface so many memories during this. It's going to be a blessing and a curse, I would say.
It's true. It's true. What were we talking about beforehand?
Oh, you were explaining how you went into media. You'll see this a lot, folks. Me and Cece can't stay on one topic for longer than, I would say, 30 seconds.
It's true.
I'm surprised we haven't pulled an accent out yet.
You know, I did it beforehand, and I think I just, I've been trying to be careful of time, which I will say, I started the timer at 8.
Extra time for us.
The more, the merrier. But that was pretty much my college journey. There was nothing to it. I think my cautionary tale within that is when you fail a class, unless you really, really, really need it, maybe it just wasn't meant to be.
Maybe it just wasn't meant to.
Honestly, some would argue that I really shouldn't have had to, like, nobody within the communications program should have had to fight that hard to be in the communications program.
I would say so.
By taking these two the first class wasn't terribly difficult, but the second one was, like, really, that shit was kicking everybody's ass for sure.
Well, that was the research one, right?
Yes.
I would just listen. If we're going to do a cautionary tale, I would say research your college just a little bit more than you and I did, I would say.
It's true. Heed our warning, and definitely look into more than just pretty locations. And
I would say, though, if it wasn't in such a nice area, I think I would have ended it there. Like, if we took the same courses and then put them in, like, I don't know, but fuck nowhere, I would have ended everything. I would have...
No.
All of the things, I would have not been here. Because it was so terrible.
Yeah. If it was I don't think any college is shitty in particular, but if there wasn't, like, if the location wasn't as nice. I think it would have made things worse. And the community itself of UC Santa Barbara,
I know,
really makes that fucking school, because
the people
for the most part,
so crazy.
I loved it.
Like, yeah, in a good way. They're so amazing, I should say. I've never met well, from my experience, I never met nicer people, calmer people in certain areas, because they could get uncalm, I guess. But I had a great experience. I made a lot of good friends, and I didn't meet a lot of terrible people, I should say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I ran into some sketchies.
That's fair. That's fair.
Parties and stuff, but I do agree to that. I think if you obviously find your people, and the people know the people, the experience wasn't terrible.
Could have been really bad.
I really liked it. Yeah,
I really liked it.
Yeah,
that was probably one of my favorite times. I miss it every day.
It's true. That actually does that bring us into our fave memorable college moments?
In our next segment. Our
the next part of the show.
Memorable college moments.
Really hard to make sure we don't forget anything.
You're smart, because oh my gosh, I would be so cautious.
I just feel like spoiler, we've recorded this episode before, and
oh yeah,
we had a lot of fun, but could some argue that we had a little too much fun
and did not focus?
Maybe, but that's neither here nor there, because we are here now.
And they are back there.
Yes. And now I'm super cautious about keeping track of time and making sure we don't forget what we even wanted to talk about in the first place.
And that was our segment about how we need to stay focused.
And that was a special announcement about getting distracted with your friends.
So. But what would you say is your favorite memory? Last time I was blabbing. The last one I was yapping and dilly-dallying.
I would say we were dillying and dallying together.
In the best way.
In the best way possible. Favorite memory. I'm not gonna lie, I did not think about this question at all.
I'm trying to not blend things we did outside of school in with things that we did in school.
I mean, you could, because I think it falls into the same timeline. So I think it's relevant. I mean, bonus if it's there, but
God forbid it not be.
I would honestly say the first one that came to mind was actually when you came down for alumni weekend. That was pretty fun.
That was in
that was our you and Ray had already graduated.
Oh my gosh, yes, I remember. We slept on the couch.
You did.
God bless that couch.
God bless that couch. We had a generational couch.
Truly. Well, okay, so my first year living there, me and Cece, me and Cece lived in transfer apartments that are provided by the school. So the first year I lived in the newer buildings, but they were a mile from school, and Cece lived in the older buildings. They were a good 6 seconds from school.
Yeah.
And my second year, I moved into an apartment that was really central for anyone who knows anything about Goleta. You have oh my gosh. What the fuck is that town? Isla Vista. Why did I forget the town that we lived in? I literally forgot the town.
That's normal.
That's so crazy. Do you know what I forget all the time about school is the blocks? Like, my friend Shelby can still name the blocks.
Remember the blocks?
She still remembers the blocks and will reference them as such. And I have no idea. I cannot tell you which block is which block, but she can tell you right off the bat, and she can probably draw a map still of the whole entire place. But I moved it.
She had 4 years, so I'll give her that.
That's true. She had 2 extra years to ingrain that in her brain. I, however, did not have those years. So in my second year, I moved into Isla Vista, which is way more central than where I used to live. I now lived a good 3 seconds to your 6 seconds. Like, I lived pretty damn close, and it was my favorite time.
The town like bleeds into the campus.
Yeah, truly bleeds is such a good word for that, because it's just a bridge. There are just a bunch of little bridges. It's like,
yeah,
and it gets you right
it's
over
literally there. They're literally brought together by a tunnel. It's like a fucking portal.
Yeah, it's so wild. It is so crazy, because I remember coming back from school and you would go through the tunnel and it would just be like, damn, I'm back. Like, I have come back. This is it right here. I have arrived once again to the Mecca.
Clocking back in.
I know. I know. It's so crazy. It's just a little tunnel, but it was like, whoa, here we go. That's crazy. But back to the couch. I lived in this apartment, and I had, oh gosh, at one point 5 roommates, but at the beginning I had 4 roommates on top of me. So 5 of us lived in this 2-bedroom apartment. Everyone other than one, me and my roommate from the original apartment, found these 3 random people, which were so, like, different but all amazing, I would say. They were all really cool people.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I thought I was going to have a large problem, because in my first apartment we had some problems, so I was very grateful. But at the end of the year, at the end of the term, someone had bought a couch to use for the following year. And so in the living room, we had 2 couches in this tiny living room, I would say. For like the last month of school, we had 2 couches in the apartment facing each other.
Yeah. It was like 90% of the living room was couch.
90% of the living room was couch. And it sounds amazing. And it was because of this black couch that my roommate had bought off of Facebook, was it? I don't know, where she was so savvy. I have no idea
UCSB, whatchamacallit?
The like marketplace or something, right?
Yeah, it's like the sale Facebook page, whatever.
She found it for like such a steal. Oh my gosh. I was like, you really paid that much for this couch?
It's like $100 or some shit.
And it was the most comfortable couch. I really wish I would have done research on this couch, because it was like a cloud of a couch. And it was so sturdy, but it was like comfy. Oh my goodness. And then you ended up moving in with her the following year to the apartment right above that apartment, and you took the couch.
I stole 3 of your roommates.
You stole 3 of my roommates.
The couch.
And the couch, exactly.
Because that's on networking.
That's on networking, and that's on convenience. Because truly,
it's true.
They didn't have to do anything, I don't think. I don't exactly know how y'all moved out of there, but I didn't see it being like a huge difference.
Moved out of.
I know all of my roommates moved out, but I really feel like they put their stuff in storage and they were gonna move it back in like a month.
Something like that. Yeah, we moved in pretty quick. It was a pretty small transition. I know some of them started living there like
immediately.
Yeah.
I feel.
No, yeah, that's real. Might as well.
But that couch was so fun. I loved that couch. We came back for alumni weekend and I was reunited. Oh my god, I have so many pictures of people sleeping on that couch. Like, just Of you. I have so many pictures of you.
I was gonna say, I was like, is it me?
It's you, it's Josue, like, it's so any of my friends that came to visit. Like, truly, that couch was well loved and didn't feel like it, which is the best part. I'm like, and that's my favorite memory of all of college, was that couch that we had for a month and a half.
Mostly just the couch. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of like other memories. I feel like that was like the one that I mentioned was like the most recent. Honestly, the couch holds a lot of memories in and of itself. So choosing the couch, you choose all the great memories.
Oh, we're out on that couch. Like, so many a time. We're out on the couch.
It was indeed a time.
Anyone? Anyone? I want to say I did like your birthday downtown. I hated my birthday downtown.
I loved your birthday downtown.
My birthday downtown.
What did I do for my birthday?
We went downtown. That was literally all we did. But it was really fun for me. For you, I don't know exactly how fun it was because you were falling asleep while dancing.
I was just going to ask, is this the one where I fall asleep? Yeah.
But I had a great time. I was like, wow, this is so much fun. And you were just like dead asleep.
Yeah, if anyone can relate, I pulled an all-nighter right before my 21st birthday, writing a paper, and Mish was like, let's go out. And obviously I would not turn that down, as it would be my first time going out. And the whole time on the dance floor, I was definitely falling asleep. Mid-dance.
Closed.
I was shaking ass, but I was also dreaming.
It's crazy because
I was getting my REM on.
Because to most people, the way that you were looking was probably like, oh my god, she's fucked up. Like, there's no...
I was just thinking that, and I was like...
There's no
damn, they
way.
probably think I'm a sloppy bitch.
I know.
But I wasn't.
You were standing upright. Like, it wasn't like you were falling over. It truly was just like your face was asleep. Like, there was no reviving you.
Well, it also like very much did act like I was like blacking out of sorts, because 1 minute I was very fine. Like I was thriving off like the energy, like the alcohol was kicking in, and I was like, yay, this is fun. And then the next thing you know, I was just like, damn, I'm kind of tired, but I don't want to go to the couch. And I was just like, I kept dancing, and all of a sudden my eyes were getting heavy, and then I think I fell over on somebody by accident, and they just shoved me back up, and
they were all on their way. That was
my birthday.
Your birthday was super funny. Again, my birthday was not funny. It was medical.
It was... I had fun. You know what? One of my favorite memories was... Sorry, because I was thinking of... What is it called?
A land shark?
A shark? I was going to say shark boat.
Bus. A shark boat. No, it was a land shark. The way that...
I was like, which one is it?
It's a land shark. The little, like, things that we have, they're so... I have found myself trying to explain things to other people of, like, what you can do and what we've done and, like, what the going out culture of UCSB is, and they're always like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? But for my birthday... It's a very
unique experience.
It was my 22nd birthday, and I rented a land shark, and it's this bus boat situation in Santa Barbara. It gives you a tour, and it gives you a tour of downtown, and then it goes into the water for like, I don't remember how long, probably like 30 minutes, right?
Yeah,
I'd say like 30.
Yeah, it's a very short amount of time, but it's very nice, especially if you catch it at sunset.
Yes, very pretty. Yeah, you go to, it does a circle, and then you come back on land. So, like, the wheels go up inside of the thing, and then it turns into a boat. I don't really understand the mechanics of it all. But people rent them all the time when they're having parties, events, birthdays, and I had rented mine with my roommate at the time, because she and I were both Scorpios and our birthdays were like not too far apart. And I had invited, there's only a certain amount of slots that you can have on this bus. And she had reserved slots for however many people, and I had reserved slots for all of my people. And you have to pay cash to get on, but you can bring all the alcohol you want, and basically you just drink and you play music and you see the scenery, and that's really all it is. It's really fun. It's a unique experience, I would say.
You wave to people like you're on a parade float.
It's super fun.
Because you're literally going down like the main street of downtown, so yeah. You're very visible.
Very visible to everyone around. And so there was so much going on that day in general.
Yeah, you were playing host to a lot of people on your birthday.
So many people, and the day started at probably like, I have a video of me and two of my friends shotgunning a beer at probably like 11 a.m. So yeah. I started early, and I was hosting so many people. It was absolutely disgusting how many people. Well, not disgusting. I appreciate everyone for coming, but I was hosting a lot of people. And and the main drama was everyone showed up for me and my party, and everyone was downtown, and they all came with their cash. And the girl that I had decided to share the land shark with, all of her friends did not come, one. And all of them were not prepped with cash, too. I don't know if you remember this. And she showed up late, 3, I think. I think the late one was the thing. But basically, in order to actually rent this boat, you do need to pay the guy up front. Like, you can't pay after the whole ordeal. You're shit-faced. Like, they don't want to deal with you. Exactly. Pause for dog.
Also, I'm an idiot, and there's a timer, like, on this thing. I don't know why I'm keeping track here.
I didn't want to say nothing.
Oh, you were just gonna let me fall?
I didn't know if it was like a special timer of sorts, like for special stuff.
What would I need it for other than telling?
I don't know, but you went through the effort. I wanted you to feel like, yeah, you know?
No! I'm just kidding.
Anyways, yes, it just tell you the time that we're recording at the bottom.
Would you say your birthday was your least favorite memory?
I think so. Only because I, to this day, have not blacked out like that. Because it made me so uncomfortable. It made me so uncomfortable to not know, like, what was going on. And to know people had to take care of me. I don't know why, but that really, like, ugh. I was like, never again. So I still have yet to black out like that.
I feel like that has something to do with you being a Scorpio.
Maybe. Probably. But I really was like, that is so crazy. And I felt bad because we were supposed to do stuff after. Like, we had a whole plan, remember? Like, we're supposed to go to the club, we were supposed to go out, blah, blah, blah. And
we had, like, an itinerary of sorts.
Yeah, and I just, like, shit on everyone's time, essentially. I, like, ruined everybody's day. So I was like, fuck, I feel so bad. Honestly, y'all could have stuck me in an Uber and I would have made it, I think. Maybe.
I just feel like that would have been a bad move to make as a group.
Listen,
for one
there
person.
was so much drama that arose from that evening, which is probably why it makes it like one of the worst ones, I'd say, because I don't even know where I was at. I think we were explaining a land shark. Oh, I was at the point, yes, it had been a day, and we get to the land shark and everyone's so excited, and a bunch of my roommates, people don't show up, right? So you still have to cough up the cash to get onto the boat. Like, they won't let you get onto the boat unless everyone pays. So I had told her friends were not showing up, and part of me, I don't remember, and I don't want to badmouth anybody, but I don't remember if her friends were not paying up, like making up the difference, So, like, let's say...
I kind of remember that.
Right? Like, let's say she had 12 people that were supposed to be there, all of which were paying $20. 6 of her people don't show up, but the other 6 don't want to cover the ones that didn't show up, right? So now my people, which they were all so sweet and so nice, they were handing me cash. Like, everybody was just handing me money so that we could get on this boat. And I felt so bad. I don't even know if I settled up with anybody because I got so faded and so fucked up. But people, like, from my parties were giving me cash, trying to make up for the difference, and her people were not doing anything, from what I remember. Damn. So all of that stressed me out to my core because I was like, I had brought all these people here to do this thing. I had rented this boat. We put a deposit on it. Like it's not...
Well, as a host, you just don't want people to worry about that shit.
You don't want people to worry.
Especially when they covered themselves.
Yeah, when they came prepared to pay. And this is when we're all in college, and so nobody has money like that. Like, nobody has $40, $50, $60 to just, like, blow on bullshit like that. And so I felt really bad for my friends having to step up and her friends not, like, rising up to the occasion. It's your friend's birthday and all y'all friends flaked. What the fuck? And only 2 of my friends flaked. Trifling. Ray and Tyler flaked on that one, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't think I ever anticipated them showing up.
They were...
I don't think I accounted for them showing up anyways.
Yeah. I think there was, like, a point where you kind of just, like, made...
I just was like, can you confirm? Because if not, I need to fill those spots. And they were like, no, we can't go. And then I filled them up with people.
Yeah.
I think it was to the point where I had more people than she had. So, I don't know. Long story short, there was, like, this whole debacle. I was holding hundreds of dollars in my hand. And I was like, this is so... And I had to call reinforcements. And Josue was trying to help me figure everything out. And people drove from... not Santa Barbara to come. Also, I had so many friends. Like, I had friends from Riverside. I had friends from where I was from.
Yeah, way out of town.
I had friends because a large part of my friend group at that time had graduated. So they were coming from home. Like, they were coming from where they had moved from, and et cetera, et cetera. So I felt really bad. So I was like, y'all can come. And
definitely wasn't on you, though.
Yeah, and nobody ever said anything about it, really, from what I remember. But anyways, so it was all this drama trying
I think they knew.
Yeah, they knew. And they were really nice people, so I was like, this is fine. So yeah, all the drama, we finally get on the boat, and I am so excited, and I'm so happy. And we get on there, and I'm drinking. I don't know what I'm drinking. Everybody's giving me a drink. And it's like, I think it started at like 7 or 8 or something, probably like 8. And by, I don't know, I want to say like 9:30, I was probably blacked out.
Did we all go home after, or did we?
Yeah, everyone went home after. Because basically, I think the tour is like 2 hours, right? It's like a 2-hour thing, hour and a half.
Yeah,
something like that. And so I don't it's like, I don't remember anything regarding water. I don't remember getting on the water. Because it
happened very fast.
It happened so quick. Because I go on, we start rolling and moving and grooving, and we have a playlist going, and we got in trouble for the playlist because we played My Neck, My Back.
You can only, I was gonna say, yeah, you could play whatever you'd like on this land shark boat situation, but you are in public where families are very much present. So if you start to play something that's incredibly explicit, they'll probably tell you to turn it down. And if you try to give them a hard time, they will gladly kick you off. There's a lot of like absolute no-nos that you're supposed to.
There are rules within
naturally. Yeah, because you're literally taking a bunch of fucking drunkos onto the water.
This thing that's meant to be like a historical tour, and somebody was like, we can so make money off of this if we just charge people to walk around. That's
so funny.
Yeah, so if we were on the tour, we play My Neck, My Back. The driver gets upset at us and asks us to change the song. I recall someone saying that they played My Neck, My Back again in the evening time. And he got annoyed at us once more. I remember being told that when we got on the water, basically at any point, if you can't get on this fucking boat, they're not going to take you. If you can't, it's this big ladder. You have to get on and off the ladder. It's really a test of your mobility and your soberness. Really, if you can get on the boat or not. And so I remember I was so drunk. Someone had to help me off the boat, correct?
Yeah.
And help me to the bathroom. And then after the bathroom, I had to be helped onto the boat, but the boat left without me, right?
Well, the boat started moving and there was a lot going on. And I was like looking around and I was like, yo, I don't think Misha's on this fucking boat. And I just see you like over. Oh, no, I tapped somebody on the shoulder. I don't remember who it was. And I was like, hey, yo, where's Mish? And so somebody starts screaming. And then before you know it, I see you just like hobbling out of the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
like on the shoulders of like somebody. And I was like, hey,
she's over there. Oh, yeah.
Lando.
It was so terrible. It was terrible because at this point I don't remember anything.
It wasn't. You are honestly like, if that's you at like quote on like if blackout is like the worst thing, which I guess like
you said for some people it may be.
It could be the worst thing, but I mean, if that's like you at your worst, then it wasn't that at all. You were like seemingly put together for the most part.
I just could not walk. My legs just gave out, I think.
Yeah.
And so
legs were noodles and that's it.
You guys pick me, or the boat picks me, by the grace of God, lets me go back on. And then we do the thing, and then I get off. And then I had to pee. Oh my God, I remember I had to pee. And they took me into a pub. That's right. It's right by the entrance.
Yeah,
remember?
We went into a pub.
Yeah, I got kicked out of that pub.
Did we go out? Yeah.
I got kicked out of that pub. I lost my ID. I don't know where it went.
You did.
I had to get a new one.
Yeah.
Thank goodness my birthday aligns around winter break anyway. So I was able to get a replacement and then right back on it when we came back for school. But I lost my ID. I called the bar. They never told me if they had it or not. I called the company. They didn't even talk to me. It was so bad. And then again, the drama that arose from that, because one of my friends said like that you guys would just come back and pick me up because she didn't think that the bus would let me on. So she was like, let's just go get to the end destination and we'll come pick her up in an Uber because I don't think the driver is going to let us on, right? And one of my other friends heard it and was like really upset about it because she was like, how are you going to leave without like the birthday girl? How are you going to leave without me? There's no way. And so that sparked so much drama.
I don't remember that person saying that.
And that's what I've been told. I don't know, sparked some drama. And so that was a whole thing. And then I just woke up in my apartment and it was like 8 a.m. And I was like, what the And I've never blacked out before at this point. I don't think I've ever I've gotten home.
The first time's terrifying.
I've gotten home to like home base and then not remembered after that. Sure.
What happened after, yeah.
But I've never that early and around that many people. It was just such a disaster situation.
Blacked out in the middle of the event that's happening.
Exactly. That's meant for me. If it was somebody else's, and I didn't really matter, I could have just gone home. But since it was my thing, there was no way. I think if it was somebody else, I would have just been have them Uber back home. They're clearly shit-faced. But here I am, alive to tell the tale.
In one piece, baby.
And everyone else seemed to have fun. I have so many good pictures from that evening also. Some I look so terrible. But you and I have a good picture up from that day.
We do a little Polaroid. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
was a little
really
beret
cute.
on.
That was
so cute.
Little croissant.
Oh, croissant.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
I had fun.
A lot of people had fun. I don't remember any of the fun.
That's all you can ask for.
And so, yeah, it was a time that was probably like my worst memory. We were supposed to talk for our favorite memories, but truly, that was...
I'm sure it was coming.
I would never... I did other people's after that, and I was like, wow, this is how it's supposed to go. So I did not remember the timeline of events. It's fine. I'll never do one again, I don't think. Lesson learned, folks.
Heat warning.
It's really just going to be we've had a time, so you don't have to. That's really going to be it. Take our times and...
That's beautiful.
Cautionary tales. All of them. All the times.
We're just like two old women sitting on a porch in a castle, just telling cautionary tales.
A porch in a castle. A castle porch.
Sitting on our porch in front of the castle, in iron rocking chairs.
You know, Game of Thrones is coming back on,
As
so it could be possible. Maybe we'll see a porch on there.
True. So it's to say they weren't around back then.
No one could tell. No one could tell.
Is there anything about college, or I guess just like your whole college experience, that you semi-regret or you didn't like?
I would say I don't regret going, only because it was a great experience.
It's true.
I'll give you...
I'll like kind of like blend the questions together. That said, do you recommend college in the way that, do you, like, hypothetically, purely hypothetical, like say you were, you took a child under your wing and they were on the fence about college and life, what would you say to them about college?
I feel like if you lack... Well, let me see. I didn't have a lot of direction. I feel like I had a plan, but I didn't really have a lot of direction, and I didn't use my resources that were given to me. Does that make sense? Like, there was plenty of resources, but I really just did not make the time, have the time, and I was so excited to be like out on my own that I really was just like just struggle busing, but making it through. And so I feel like if you lack direction, I would still go to school. I just would go to maybe like a community college first.
Yeah.
And see if you can find some direction there. And if not, then move on and like pick a trade or something, or like go pursue your dream. But I feel like there's a lot to learn from school, I guess, from college. I feel obviously it's a place of learning, but like even if you have a creative passion or something, there are things that these people can teach you that you just won't know on your own. You know what I mean? Like if you want to do film, if you want to do acting, if you want to do singing, dancing, photography, like all of those people can give you at least basics. So definitely I would go to community college if you lack direction. If you have an idea, I know very few people that knew what they wanted to do and went to school and are now doing it. I know there's probably less people that I know that did that, and more people that I know that did the opposite. Of just like went to school and now they came out and they were just trying to figure out what to do, I guess. They just didn't really know what job to go after. And that's what I think really is difficult when it comes to going to a research-based school, because they really just teach you to research, you know what I mean? They just teach you to research stuff. They don't really
We were researching everything.
From my experience, I'm sure other people feel different, but for me, I didn't really take a lot of time to figure out what I wanted to do, so I just kind of went and did whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend doing that, but I don't regret going. That makes sense. I would go. I mean, I would go regardless. Nobody's ever going to shit on you for having a bachelor's degree.
That's real.
No matter what it's in.
That's real.
Nobody's going to shit on you for having it. If anything, they're going to be like, wow, you have a bachelor's degree?
Yeah. And never downplay it. It is, in fact, a huge accomplishment. Whatever you decide to major in, it is still a lot of fucking school. And if you go within, the usual timeline of like your late teens and early 20s, it's a lot to do for being that young. So never downplay the bachelors, never downplay the associates either. You could still get a lot of jobs with associates.
Probably more nowadays.
Girl,
it's so tough right now. I don't even know how people are doing it. But that's for a different discussion, because I have no idea how people are doing it right now.
I mean, there's so many different avenues for everything, and I would say like I think what I regretted about college is I think I just didn't take advantage enough of certain opportunities because I was always stressed about the wrong thing. And I think it just made me it made it really difficult to be present because there were definitely a lot of resources. I mean, if you explore your campus and do your research, you'll definitely have some. I do think there were some limitations that particular school could bring me, especially for the career path that I wanted to do, but it wasn't completely barren. I was just more worried. I felt like at that time I was always looking forward to the next thing. I felt like in college I just wanted to be like a full-grown mini adult already, instead of really just soaking in the time that was there. And that's what I would say. But I genuinely don't regret going. I used to say a lot that, I mean, it is very true. Like, a lot of going to college was for my parents. My parents were pretty adamant about me going to college. But truthfully, I've never resented them for making me go. I mean, I had my lows, but just, one, you pretty much get to pursue whatever you genuinely want to pursue. Some people don't have that privilege, but if you do, you really get to hone in on exploring yourself academically. I feel like you foster a lot of deep friendships. Obviously, Misha and I are products of that. And so many other people that we still keep in contact with. And just being able to live amongst people your own age, I feel like that's pretty common in college, right? You like the community of it all,
Yeah.
I feel like that's so important. And I feel like overall it really, I don't know, it's just like a very unique and special experience that, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking different paths. And definitely what I will say is go to college once you are truly ready.
Yeah.
You should not abide by anybody else's schedule. And but once you are ready, definitely just take advantage of your time there. I don't know where I was going with that, but overall, I think that college, getting your bachelor's degree especially, is a great option, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But again, not downplaying any other options because your path is whatever you make it. And I've always said that. Thank you.
P.
You're like,
I mean, I guess.
You're like, what the fuck?
What did I just
You're
listen
like, oh,
to?
I'm sorry.
I was.
What the fuck was that?
I wasn't listening to anything. What did you say?
You're like, oh my god, sorry, my headphones were off this entire time.
I thought you were just miming.
Sure, it was great though.
I thought this was the miming portion of the podcast. That was my bad.
So sorry. I'm sure it was great though. I'm sure it was great.
I have a lot of faith. It was probably really good.
Alright guys, we're just about to wrap up, but before we go, we want to do a little segment at the end of every podcast where we share around 3 to 5 songs depending if our songs clash, because as friends we do have very similar music tastes. We thought we would share 3 songs that match with our topic, and since our topic is college, we thought it would be a good idea to list some songs that remind us of our college experience. And this is our college experience, and I know these songs are old, but that's because we're like semi-old. Middle-aged,
if you will. Hate to break it to y'all. We're adults.
This is the shit that we used to bump back in the day.
That's true. You can go first.
So, me?
Yeah. Or do you want me to go first? Because I know I wrote mine down.
I think I have them in the noggin. My first one is Caroline by Mina, because I think that dropped within the beginning of our school year, and I just remember having that song on repeat. That song had a big fat old chokehold on me, and I heard it all the time at parties. So Caroline is a big one.
Do you remember that time that we sung Caroline like in the library but without like any music? And Tyler joined in on it. I know it's a very niche memory, but we were in the corner of the library where you could see the ocean. You remember I used to have like panels of windows?
Yeah.
And we were in the front corner, and you and I started singing it, but without any music. We were like lip syncing to it. And I think Tyler caught on.
That's a deep ass
I know.
cut.
That was like, you said that and I was like, oh my god, I remember that. Deep ass cut. Back in the back of my brain.
The power of fucking music, man.
But yeah, that song chokehold on everybody we ever met, I think. It was so good.
Big fat old chokehold. Because I think that was like Amine's first album.
And I think so too, because I think it has Heebie-Jeebies on that one too, right?
Yeah. That album was
very good.
We love Amine in this house. I would say that my next one. This one was kind of hard. I feel like I have more than one. I was gonna say Redbone by Childish Gambino because I just remember, and a lot of this is solely because like I remember listening to these albums while studying because they had first come out.
Yeah. I have one of those
but
too.
Redbone had a big fat chokehold on me. I was also gonna mention. Oh well, my last one is Nice for What, because Nice for What also dropped on Deltopia. If you don't know what that is, it's big fat party.
We may talk about it in the future.
2-day weekend extravaganza. We will at UCSB, and Nice for What happened to drop that very weekend, and by Drake, by the way. And it was a good day. It was a good all weekend featuring that song on repeat at every single house you would pop your little head into. And then all my honorable mentions are, I was thinking of Slide, the Calvin Harris song, just because it's big UCSB vibes, it's big beachy vibes, and that song was like at its release while we were at school. And then Gold Link, when he first came out, I was gonna say Crew. Yeah, I just remember These are all just the songs that had a chokehold on me personally, and sometimes the entire student body. So.
I agree. Total chokehold.
Yeah. What's yours?
I have Panoramic on my list.
Period.
Panoramic was so high up there for me.
She goes, yeah, that had me shaking some ass.
That was
for sure.
I don't even need to say anything else.
I love it. I need you say more.
Panoramic is the first thing I typed in all caps. And I think everyone should.
I love it. That's a great one.
I think everyone should go listen to it right now. My next song is One Dance. Also because that album came out and that shit was in my brain forever.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
Dude, One Dance. Man.
And that's when they were like maybe a thing, right? Were they? I thought they were. I thought that was like...
I think there was a lot of speculation for sure. Okay.
And so that just gave it an extra for me. And then...
Yeah, the drama.
And then the second song I wrote because I immediately thought about it is there was a band that used to be called the 6-7s. I don't know if anyone remembers them. Do you remember the 6-7s?
Oh my god, vaguely.
It was just, they have a song called...
That's a great one.
I love that song.
Yes, local music.
To this day, I listen to that song. I put people on that song because I love this song called IDK Don't Ask. It is one of my favorites, I think. Great. And they were a local band and they used to perform, and I used to have a job involved in music that we'll probably talk about somewhere in the future. But they had concerts at school and we would go to them. And I love that song. That song was so good. My friends put me on, but I do love the 6-7s. IDK Don't Ask. And then an honorable mention for me is American Teen by Khalid, because that album also came out around that time.
Yeah. So I was gonna say it'd be kind of foul not to mention Khalid.
I know, we have so many memes with him too. And he was everywhere. True. He was everywhere, that song.
Yeah. That boy was blown up. Location is a big
one. That whole album. I'll put Location on there as an honorable mention also. Yeah. Because it was so good.
Yeah.
I had
write that down.
I think I associate all of college with that album, I think.
That's real.
That's like my college album, I would say.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the other... I had one like that I was thinking of, but it's not coming to me. I think it was just the amazing, maybe. Yeah, that's a great one.
I love those songs. And you can hear them on the playlist we'll make available to y'all.
It's true. We'll attach it somehow.
Some way. We're still figuring it out.
With links. We're still figuring this whole thing out. Do you have anything else to add before we wrap it up?
I don't think so, but I hope y'all enjoy the journey. This is so scary to put out to people, but we've been talking about it for so long. And why not? The world is falling apart. Why not just add our voices to it? Add a podcast where me and my friend get to hang out and have a time while you guys have a time with us. So yeah, that's all, I guess. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Next week.
Love you wherever and whoever you are. See you next week.
Bye. Bye.